I tend to forget the fact that this is, I'm addressing a university. I was at the LSE last night, and tonight at Westminster University. You know that I'm not able to enter most all public institutions in Malaysia. What's wrong with our country? I mean, you can choose to disagree, but why deny us this basic right to articulate our views? So we have to save the country. You have heard, for example, Wabi Ting and Malik speaking of the experience of Selangor and Penang. We have had extensive debates in Parliament in the last few days on the King's speech. I've highlighted essentially the economic problems we are facing. We used to be the leading country in ASEAN in terms of market capitalization, in terms of foreign direct investments and growth. We were second to Singapore only in terms of competitiveness. That was in the 1990s with all the limitations then. Now, we are not in the capacity to be compared or in the position to be compared to Singapore, Taiwan, or Korea. We are now a different league compared to only to Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines. Even then, in terms of growth, we have lost to these countries. In terms of foreign direct investments, I deduce statistics from the ASEAN Secretariat database to prove that Malaysia has lost its attractiveness as foreign direct investments destination. And the figures were unfortunately challenged by Minister Mustafa. And then I brought in this source read out from this ASEAN Secretariat database. And he shut up after that. Now, why is it that we have lost this competitiveness? Is this because of the workforce? Is it because of our infrastructure? It is essentially a problem of leadership. There is decline in interest, that we are not within the radar. I was here, talked to some foreign fund managers, investors. They say Malaysia is no longer in the radar. Yes, according to the government, they have identified Coca-Cola that had decided to introduce certain new facilities of extension in Malaysia. I don't deny that. I'm not saying that Malaysia is Zimbabwe. We are much better than Zimbabwe. Thank God. I dare not say thank Allah. Because of our failure of governance. The problem is of governance. There is a complete destruction of basic institutions of governance. Indonesia has transformed itself from 30 years of dictatorial, autocratic rule to a vibrant democracy with strong institutions. Yes, they have to grapple with some problems of development, of endemic corruption. The media is free. No one is spared. The institutions are being improved from time to time. But in the case of Malaysia, the media seems to be completely under the control of the government. The judiciary continues to be under the thumbs of the executive. Now, if you have foreign investors from the UK, from Europe, from the Middle East, want to adjudicate some of the cases, not in Malaysia, they will choose Hong Kong or Singapore, which means this reflects a sense of hopelessness in terms of confidence in the pillar, an institution that is regarded as a pillar in the state, in the country. Now, economic policies, we are still bound by the obsolete policies. I crafted 3 years back a Malaysian economic agenda. I said, before you craft an economic policy, you have to identify what is the problem. The problem is that we have lost competitiveness. Why do we lose competitiveness? Poor governance. The new economic policy. Did I support the new economic policy when I was younger? Yes, I did. I make no qualms, no apologies about it. The situation, the context was different. Did we benefit generally? Yes, we did benefit. Social mobility, education opportunities. But that was 35 years ago. Were there abuses? Yes. The new economic policy was exploited more by the rich ruling clique members, family members of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Is this a nasty, vicious allegation? Baseless? No. Look at the records of the richest Malays in the country. Brother of the Prime Minister. Son of the former Prime Minister. Son-in-law of the former Prime Minister. Yeah. Why? You think the general Malays are idiots and fools and semi-literates? No. So if any one of you, particularly the non-Malays, considering that new economic policy benefit Malays, I would consider this an irresponsible contentious statement. It benefit the rich Malay clique of the UMNO Putras, not the general Malays. Why do we need to then dismantle the new economic policy? Because we have lost competitiveness, we have to regain that. We have to ensure that Malaysia becomes able to perform well economically, becomes a vibrant economy, enrich ourselves, and then continue to distribute wealth through a more transparent affirmative action policy. We cannot deny the importance of the general public. We cannot afford to marginalize any group. The vast majority of the Malays and Bumi Putras in Sabah and Sarawak remain poor. The richest state, Sarawak. Poorest people, Sarawak. Yeah, there's a disconnect between the state, the wealth of the state, and the downtrodden majority. And they happen to be Bumi Putras. So why do you talk about pro-Bumi Putra policy when you impoverish them? Many Malays ask me, they don't know what's going to happen. You dismantle the new economic policy. What's going to happen to us? I said, can we ever consider an economic policy that ignore the interests of the majority? No. Do we want to promote market economy and marginalize the Malays? No. We will have to bring up, but we have to implement a transparent affirmative action policy based on need, not based on race. This I'm sure you've heard from YB Teng just now. I mean, we say, okay, the poor families in Selangor, free water. What's the problem? The vast majority, the benefit are the Malays. The Chinese poor, the Indian poor also benefit. Okay, they say, well, under 50 years UMNO rule, they also got free water, rain and river. And any death incurring in any family, they're given 2,500 ringgit. Is it a Malay policy? No. It's a Selangor policy. Poor Malays, poor Chinese, poor Indians. Must it be a Malay policy or ethnic Indian policy, as some Indians want or demand, or a Chinese policy? No. And this is the new approach. Now, if you talk in terms of racial equation, then I'm telling you, the vast majority that's benefiting from this program remain the Malays, because they happen to be the majority, and in terms of numbers, they're also the poorest. So why are the Malays feeling that they're under siege mentality just by listening to the UMNO, rich UMNO leaders? The very rich seem to be very concerned. What's going to happen to the Malays? You look at him, $500 million worth. I see the Malays should be better if you get rid of people like you. That's my answer. Yeah. Because the rich, corrupt guys now portray themselves as the champion of the Malays. Every single contract, no tender. Why? Because you allow a tender, then the Chinese will get it. So, the solution, we will take it.